I was not expecting to wake up today to tell you guys that Kakarot's gonna have multiplayer, but here we are. We've got some more updates on the Golden Frieza DLC coming this fall, as well as a free update that will be hitting roughly at the same time that will breathe some multiplayer life into Kakarot. But before we get into that, many of you have taken the extra step of supporting what I do here and have pledged on Patreon. During the month of September, we've had the sale where if you sign up for a full year, you get a 15% discount. That's almost 2 months for free. And becoming a patron has many rewards like exclusive live streams, weekly Q&A, and of course, our almost weekly tournaments that you may have watched on Twitch. September is almost over and so is the sale. 15% off when you sign up for a full year, and that's gone on October 1st. So don't miss it. This press release went out to many outlets, talking about the upcoming Kakarot DLC, A New Power Awakens Part 2. There's still no concrete release date on the DLC other than it will launch this fall, so we're talking October, November, most likely. Technically, it could still be December, but that would surprise me given how much they've talked about this DLC already. Now, the first DLC was kinda thin, so I'm not particularly excited for this one. It's basically a boss fight, right? It gives Goku and Vegeta a new transformation, some new techniques, but now instead of Super Saiyan God, it's Super Saiyan Blue. And instead of the boss fight being against Beerus, it's gonna be against Golden Frieza. The Ginyu Force is also making somewhat of a return in this DLC. I wonder how much they have changed. The Ginyu Force fight in the original Kakarot was one of my favorites in the entire game, no doubt. They all had very unique gimmicks and attacks to keep an eye out for, but the battles aren't really Kakarot's strongest suit. Not in my opinion, at least. So when you make your DLC entirely about the fights, it's just not as interesting to me. However, this time it feels like they're giving you something extra. I believe this time you actually play as Frieza. I hope I'm right on this. I can't find the source anymore since the Bandai news site is currently down, but I do remember reading something like this. I apologize if I'm misleading you guys though. But it also makes a lot of sense that in addition to Goku and Vegeta getting a new transformation, you also get a new character. I wonder if you're able to free roam as Frieza after you complete the DLC. Or maybe he's only playable for the story moment. Gosh, free roaming as Frieza, helping the farmers get their carrots back. That's the Kakarot I want to play. But I guess it makes sense that they had the time to do this for DLC Part 2, since for this DLC, that doesn't seem to be a whole new area to design, right? The first DLC designed the whole Beerus planet, which even though it was kinda small, it was really well designed. This amount of detail is a lot of work. But Frieza invaded Earth. There are plenty of areas on Earth that we can use for this DLC to take place. So you save some time on building a new environment, but give you Frieza as a playable character. That sounds like a fair trade. I'll check it out as usual, but I'm honestly more excited for the final DLC, which actually seems to be a proper DLC and not just a boss fight with some bells and whistles, because this Golden Frieza DLC is probably something that you can beat within an hour and then just move on. Now, multiplayer. That was a surprise. The multiplayer update is separate from the DLC, but it will also release this fall. Now, it's important that you know that it is separate from the DLC because it is actually free. It's not full-on multiplayer, however. You don't fight as these characters against other players in the open world. Instead, it's a whole new game mode where you collect cards and fight against each other. That's right, Kakarot's going multiplayer with a card game. That's the headline I didn't see coming today. Now, I'm not very familiar with Dragon Ball card games, but this immediately reminded me of two things. Dragon Ball Heroes and Dragon Ball Xenoverse. A while back, Xenoverse did something similar. They added a turn-based card battle game called Hero Colosseum. It worked quite differently though, even if you ignore the fact that the characters come to life and you're not just playing cards. Looking at the board, you can see that each player has 2 rows of characters to play. It seems very different from what we have here with Kakarot. Now, Dragon Ball Heroes sounded like a real possibility to me. Every time I went to a fighters tournament hosted by Bandai, they were just giving out a ton of these collectible cards to pretty much every player out there. There were constant ads between the battles during the breaks to promote the newest card packs. This was something that Bandai was promoting heavily. So in a sense, it would be the perfect cross-promotion to implement that system in Kakarot. Maybe some players would like that card game, maybe they would go out into the real world and buy some card packs. But if I remember correctly, Dragon Ball Heroes also had multiple lanes per player. I may be wrong, by the way, I'm way out of my depth here, but looking at these 2 screenshots, I would say they made a brand new Dragon Ball card game. And this could be a lot of fun. There are many card minigames that I've enjoyed in RPGs in years past. The biggest one for me personally is probably Final Fantasy VIII. I spent a ridiculous time collecting cards and trying to win more through matches. I think I played that card game more than Final Fantasy VIII itself. Gwent also pops to mind as a really good one, and this Kakarot card game seems to be a bit more straightforward than those examples, so I don't want want to hype it up too much. Cards have health values, they have attack values, there seems to be an energy system similar to maybe Hearthstone and Magic. Each card also has its own cost, so you start to put all those elements together and it seems like something we've played before, something we've at least seen before. In the board, all the cards seem to be soldiers or characters that are just meant to attack the opposing players, but in this other screenshot, you can also see cards that are probably just special effects or buffs. You know, the usual stuff that you'd expect from a game like this. And the multiplayer mode will actually feature a casual mode, a ranked mode, and monthly Budokai tournament battles, so special events even. This could be a lot of fun. I can definitely see the potential, and in a way, it's giving Kakarot some endgame stuff to focus on, which is something that Kakarot just did not have. There was no endgame. Don't call those villainous enemies endgame. Like, that's nothing. And it's not that every game needs to have some form of replayable content after the story is done. Some games are meant to be beaten and then put away, and that's totally fine. Some of my favorite games work like that. However, this is an addition that has a lot of potential. I'm not gonna say it's a really good addition. We'll have to wait and see it through. We'll have to actually play it, see how we collect the cards. Is the game actually fun to engage in? How long are the matches? There's a lot that could go wrong, but I see a lot of potential for this. The update's coming out this fall. I'll be sure to let you guys know when it drops, as well as the Golden Frieza DLC. But for now, I'd love to know what you guys think of these news. Excited for card battles in Kakarot, or is this a type of game that you don't really appreciate? You don't like it, it's not for you. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Our Patreon September sale is coming to an end soon. If you sign up for a full year, you get 15% off, and who knows, we may even hold a Kakarot card tournament when this comes out. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye.